wings set up to give them the best possible compromise between downforce and speed on the straight, and you can tell from the way that...
Lotus was once a symbol of British engineering brilliance. Today, it's at a crossroads. Production in the UK is halted. Sales are down. Its new electric models haven't won over its traditional base. It's a failure of vision, strategy, and identity. Let's unpack the real reason why Lotus is failing. But before we do, it helps us a lot if you give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell. In 1948, Colin Chapman built the first Lotus in a lock-up garage behind a pub in North London. He introduced a philosophy: simplify, then add lightness. This approach led to groundbreaking designs like the Lotus 7, Elan, and later, the Elise and Exige. These cars were raw, analog, and focused entirely on the driving experience. In motorsport, Lotus dominated. From 1958 to 1994, Team Lotus won 7 Constructors' Championships in Formula One. Names like Jim Clark, Ayrton Senna, and Nigel Mansell all drove for Lotus. For decades, the brand represented innovation, racing heritage, and a unique kind of British purity. But over time, the company struggled to scale. By the 2000s, it had a loyal fan base but lacked the financial strength to evolve. So in 2017, Chinese automotive group Geely acquired a 51% stake in Lotus. Geely by then was building a global empire, owning Volvo, Polestar, Lynk & Co., and even part of Daimler. The acquisition of Lotus was meant to do 2 things: modernize the brand and use its engineering expertise across Geely's broader EV strategy. The promise was a staggering £3 billion investment to turn Lotus into a global luxury EV maker while preserving its sports car roots. On the surface, this was a lifeline, but behind the scenes, the tension between legacy and ambition began to grow. Geely created Lotus Technology, a China-based division focused entirely on EVs. They started using a huge manufacturing plant in Wuhan, over 1 million square meters. Lotus was no longer just a British brand. It had become part of a global production network centered in China. The first major new product under Geely was the Evija, a 2,000-plus horsepower all-electric hypercar. Produced in the UK, it was a statement of intent, but with a 7-figure price tag and a limited run, it wasn't a volume product. Then came the Eletre, an electric SUV, and the Emeya, an electric luxury sedan. These vehicles were aimed at Porsche and Tesla buyers. They were powerful, luxurious, and tech-heavy, but they also weighed over 2.5 tons. That's not at all what people expect from a Lotus. The company shifted away from the less is more philosophy and instead tried to match what competitors were already doing, often with more brand equity in that space. This was the strategic error. Lotus didn't create a new category. It entered an existing one, late and without a clear advantage. Traditional Lotus buyers felt alienated, while new EV customers didn't see Lotus as a proven player in the segment. And the result was muted demand and brand confusion. In 2025, a geopolitical issue added even more pressure. U.S. tariffs on UK-made vehicles, originally imposed under the Trump administration, were still in place. For Lotus, this was devastating. Its last gasoline-powered model, the Emira, was built in Hethel, and the U.S. was one of its key markets. Fewer than 560 Emiras were produced in the first quarter of this year, a 50% decline over the same period in 2024. According to the Financial Times, Lotus insiders claimed the company had been struggling to pay suppliers in recent months, and that Hethel may be closed as soon as next year. Sales dropped sharply. In the second quarter of 2025, Lotus reported a 42% drop in deliveries, with only 1,274 vehicles sold, posting a $103 million loss. Its stock, which had been listed just months earlier, collapsed by more than 80%, exposing the structural flaws in Lotus's global plan. Lotus today is divided. On one side, the Hethel plant in the UK and the brand's spiritual home, quiet, underused, and on the brink of redundancy. Over 1,300 jobs are now at risk. UK operations are being scaled back, and there's no clear plan for new production. On the other side, Wuhan. This is where Lotus Technology operates. It's where the Eletre and Emea are built. It's the future of the company, at least from Geely's perspective. The company claims it's committed to the UK, but the facts tell a different story. No new internal combustion models are planned. No EV production is scheduled in the UK. And key leadership roles are being consolidated under Lotus Technology. Hethel is no longer central to the company's future, even if Geely claims otherwise. It could soon become just a brand museum. Lotus didn't fail because of tariffs, or competition, or the EV transition. It failed because it tried to become something it was never meant to be. It abandoned its unique DNA in favor of chasing a crowded market segment dominated by brands with more scale, more recognition, and more customer trust. The Lotus name once meant innovation, simplicity, and raw performance. Today, it means something different, something unclear. This is what happens when a brand loses sight of its identity while trying to scale too quickly. Lotus tried to be a niche performance icon and a mass-market EV maker at the same time, and it's failing at both. Lotus was built on bold ideas and engineering purity. Its current problems are the result of bold spending and strategic confusion. Unless the company redefines its direction and regains its identity, it will remain in decline, no matter how much money gets thrown at it. And you, tell us in the comments, do you think Lotus can be saved, or is the legacy already lost? This is Car Facts. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep automotive breakdowns.